Welcome to it. We're live on Twitter as well as Facebook. In a couple of seconds, we're going to do the one thing that you've been asking us to do. You don't want to go anywhere because I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to make possibly what is going to become one of the most important calls we'll ever make on this show. Let's take a break quickly, though.
At Burger King, we call our new combos king-size combos. Why? Because Burger King's king-size combos are fit for a king and really big. Get our full-size, 100% pure beef everyday items just at a better price. So if you're really hungry, we have king-size combos perfect for you, or you and friends, or even you and the whole family. Save up to 70 Rand and get more food, more taste, and more value. Try the new king-size combos only at Burger King.
SABC 1 has made a few changes to the primetime schedule. On Thursdays, Deal or No Deal South Africa at 7 p.m. House Renovations with Reno Race at 9 p.m. Queens of Mzansi at 9:30 p.m. Tune in to SABC 1, Mzansi for sure.
It's exactly 9 after the hour 6. We're going to be speaking to South African Football Association Football Manager Mzwandile Maforvane in a bit, because there was a meeting held between SAFA, Mzwandile, and of course the guys at Marumo Gallants to try and sort out this matter. 19 days, 2 South Africans have been stuck, held hostage in Libya. We've got one of those South Africans on the line now, media officer and manager at Marumo Gallants. Rufus Matsena is with me. Rufus?
Good afternoon, Andile, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Listen, man, the entire country. Today I went out and an elderly lady said to me, and that's why I said to Timmy, we've got to do this. An elderly lady said to me, Andile bapha bantwana bam. Why didn't she have bantwana bapha? And I said, you know what, we have to at least do a wellness check to see if you're okay, to see if everything is okay on your end. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us. 19 days in Libya. How are you?
I don't know even how to start, but the long and short of it, what's important is we're still alive. Having said that, I would like to take this opportunity actually at the moment to thank everybody back at home for, rallying behind us and making it a point that someday we'll be back home with our families. So back to your question, we're not okay. I mean, look, this is just a situation which is not normal. Now, you probably on your personal capacity, you are planning for your Easter weekend with your family. So to us, it's something different.
I can imagine that it becomes harder because of this weekend.
Yeah, it's been hard, but now that it's a long weekend, and and understanding what happens, during Easter in our country, it becomes more of a burden. It becomes heavier.
Yeah, no, Rufus, I hear you, because you're going to be seeing family on WhatsApp talking about getting together, meeting up, but they also, how are they taking it? Are you at least talking to family every day? Are you assuring them? Are you able to video call them? Are you talking to your family?
Yeah, myself and my colleague here, we actually on a daily basis, if not 2-3 times a day, we try by all means to communicate with them, reassure them, that no, we're okay. I mean, remember, you can't just put it bare to your family and say, I'm not okay, but you have to, try and be strong, say we're okay. I mean, even the reports that I'm seeing on the media, you can see that the reports are saying we're okay, but I mean, deep down, it's not possible that we can be okay.
So when you say you're okay, you're talking about you're physically okay, like nothing has physically harmed you, but other than that, you can't be okay.
No, we can't be okay. Physically, we've never been harmed. But the only problem is the psychological, effect of this thing. It's taking a toll on us. But I'm hoping that any time from now, things will turn into a different, scenario where we might, be on our way back home.
It's 19 days now, Rufus, since you've been in Libya. What is your daily routine like? What do you do? I mean, I spoke to Dr. Ali, the owner of the hotel, and he said you guys walk out, leave the hotel every day. You walk around, you come back. He's giving you the biggest suite there. What is your daily life like every day?
Our routine, I'm laughing because I don't remember walking a distance of about 100 meters outside the room. It's either I'm in my room or I'm with my colleagues, Dina Dhlomo. I'm in his room. So, yeah, that is the routine. And then the other thing, it's either you sleep or you don't sleep. But in most cases, we just sit together, start discussing issues about, our life stories so that, the day can go by. Then tomorrow, you wake up, the mood is different, and you try to speak to Dhlomo, he's not okay. You ignore him. Then the following day, he tries to speak to him. I'm like him the previous day. So it's something like that. I mean,
it sounds a lot like what I've heard prison is like, when you sit there and you tell each other stories and you try and get your mind off things because you're trying to pass the day.
Exactly my point. And, Andile, if I can say to you, I mean, if somebody can say to you, wait for me for an hour, and an hour passes and you have 5 minutes extra, you get so impatient just for an hour. So you can imagine 19 days. you understand? It's but anyway, we're soldiering on. And one thing that is very important, and that is, keeping us going. Remember, in a way, we sacrifice for our team. And what's very important and encouraging is that, our boys are fighting for us there. I mean, they play 2 games, they win them, they won them back to back.
A very important one last night. Huge victory that.
Yeah, it's a consolation to us that, they're giving back to what we gave them. You understand? So it's nice.
Listen, Rufus, I promised you that I will not hold you and complicate your life and get you in trouble by asking you so many things. Is there anything that you or Dhlomo would like to say? It could be to anybody. It could be to the South Africans that have taken this story into heart and are wondering about you every day. It could be to government. It could be to absolutely anyone. Before we let you go, is there anything that you'd like to get off your chest? Or maybe some of the things that you're reading that you're thinking, are incorrectly captured about the situation. Is there anything you'd like to say before I let you go?
No, things which are incorrectly captured, it's something that we'll deal with it when we get home. I mean, I did explain to Timmy the reasons why. So, but the short of it, we both, myself and Mr. Dhlomo, on behalf of Marumo Gallants, would like to thank everybody who is behind the issue of us coming back home, so that we can enjoy what everybody is enjoying, have our freedom and stuff like that. So we really, really appreciate, and it shows that as much as South Africa, we've got our differences, but we are still a unit.
Rufus, we're going to keep checking on you, not on air, every single day, as Tim has been doing, because this is a matter of national interest. We are, in this long weekend, putting you in those Easter prayers, because your lives are way more important than any game. I don't care what the sport is. You've got families that are rooting for you. You've got South Africans that want you back here. Our government is listening to this right now. And on Monday, when we come back on this show, I think we're going to take it directly with them. If not much has been done over this weekend, we are going to take it directly with them on this show, because it cannot be that South Africans are held hostage in another country for whatever reason. Rufus, thank you so much for talking to us.
No, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That is Rufus Matsena, media officer and manager at Marumo Gallants. 19 days they've been stuck in Libya in a hotel. It sounds so glamorous when you go to a hotel. That's until you have to be there for 19 days. That room, even if it's the biggest suite and the most glamorous suite there is, after 19 days of not being able to go, it might as well have bars. It is a prison. Yes, he says he needs to sound strong so that his family does not worry. But if I need to tell you that I need to sound strong, if I need to tell you that I'm not okay, Dr. Abraham Sello, I urge you to come on and tell South Africans what's going on. Because I do understand where Dr. Abraham Sello and the whole of Marumo Gallants are. You budget 200 rands. You agree on 200 rands. Somebody comes later on and says, no, it's going to cost you 900 rands. Number one, do I have the 900? Number two, ethically, do I then go and pay the 900 rands? But then some will then bring up the matter of the importance of life, the worth of life. But the owner of the team is in a corner with his back against the wall as much as what those two gentlemen are. It's 19 after the hour 6. Let's take a break. When we come back, there was a huge meeting that was held about this exact thing. SAFA has gone into the picture. They've joined the call, and they're going to be talking to us in just a bit. Remember, 6:45. That's the most important time on the show. That's when we get to hear what you have to say and what your thoughts are. Our WhatsApp line is simply 060-552-7303. Call us on 086-000-2160. It's a good thing this break is coming right now because emotionally, I need it too.
The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Black is back. Best Afro Soul and Pop are Sjava Isibuko, Zuko SA featuring Vusinova, Andile Ncube, Brenda Mtambo, Enza Kwenzeke. In combination, Voicemail, Mlindo the vocalist, Lindo Kuhle. To vote, dial *120 *45787 hash. USSD rates charged at R1.50 per minute. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Metro FM, it's where you're at.
Want to know the secret to soft and beautiful underarms? Try new Nivea Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl deodorant, enriched with black pearl extracts and a premium long-lasting fragrance. Feel beautiful and confident all day with new Nivea Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl.
This Easter, enjoy hot cross everything. Freshly baked every day. Plus, save extra on Bonita salted butter. Buy 2 for 129 Rand. Save 30 Rand. Save 30% when you buy any 2 packs of Cape Point prawns. And get any 2 80-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk slabs for 26 Rand. Save 30%. Celebrate Easter with all the extras. Valid till Sunday at Checkers and Checkers Hyper.
Metro. The biggest commercial radio station in South Africa. That's me. We're going nowhere. We're here to stay. We're here with you. Now and forever. Amen. Metro FM. It's a miracle. It's where you're at.
It's 21 after the hour 6. We're about to go 22 after the hour 6 on the mighty Metro FM. This is Sports Not Amplified with Andile. It's a story that has been built and going now for a couple of weeks. 19 days exactly since 2 South Africans with their team, Marumo Gallants, went to play in Libya. They've been stuck in Libya since. We spoke to the man that is, in my books, and you can look at this however you want, in my books, holding Mr. Matsena and Dhlomo hostage. Because he's got their passports with him. They're not allowed to leave the country. Even if you give them freedom to the hotel. You say, hey, you can swim at 3 a.m. It's normally not allowed, but you can do it. That is a prison. That is a prison. No amount of buffet at that hotel is going to taste like it's supposed to. If that food will even go down. Rufus Matsena is the media officer and manager for Marumo Gallants. He spoke to us a couple of seconds ago, telling us about how it is. But if you missed it when we did speak, I think it was on Monday, we spoke to Dr. Ali Alzaga. He is the hotel owner who says he spent just under 700,000 rands on Marumo Gallants and he wants his money. Have a listen to him when I asked him about holding them hostage.
So, first of all, I want to say that I'm not holding anybody. They are not in hostage. They are here just according to the agreement between three persons, me and the German and Mr. Rufus. So I think there is nobody will be in hostaging, and he have his internet and he has his food and he has his freedom. This just people, they are trying to change the story to be it as a criminal or this kind of things. I'm Dr. Ali. I am here. I'm speaking with every journalist. I'm welcoming to everybody. I'm not a kind of a terrorist person. I'm owner of 3 hotels, so I haven't to do such things like that. They are fine here. They are using 2 big suites. They're using their internet and they're using their foods. So it's not good way to use such words like holding or hostaging or something like this, because they are not in hostage. Yeah.
But let's agree on something though. They are not free, because if they were free, they would leave Libya to come to South Africa. So can we agree that they don't have their freedom?
No, they have their freedom for sure. They are going out and coming in.
But they can't leave the country.
That putting here between 3 persons.
But what I'm saying is, according to that agreement that you say you have, they can't leave the country.
Do you hear me well, right?
I can hear you 100%, sir.
Yeah, we are now speaking in logic. So we have an agreement that the guys is staying here till I get my money.
Well, you heard it. The guys are staying here till I get my money. It's 25 after the hour 6. Let's go now to our guest, SAFA Football Manager, Mzwandile Maforvane, who speaks to us after a meeting that he had with the club on the matter. Mzwandile, are you well? Today I'm not sure. Today I'm weak, man, Mzwandile.
I'm trying, I can tell you. I'm trying. I'm exhausted, really. I just felt that I cannot let you down. I need to discuss in order for people to have the information.
We need the information. The club obviously not talking at the moment, but you've had a meeting with the club. Who was part of this meeting that you had this afternoon?
Actually, we had a meeting in the morning from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, where we had the ambassador from Libya, who's in South Africa.
The South African ambassador to Libya?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, the Libyan ambassador in South Africa and the SAFA ambassador in Tunis. Remember, we don't have the embassy in Libya. Then they get assistance from Tunis.
Okay.
So we had the ambassador being part of the meeting. We had the DDG from the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. Then we had Dr. Ali himself. He was part of the meeting.
This is the hotel owner who's the one that is wanting his money. Okay, yeah?
Yes. As well as the chairman of Marumo Gallants, the HOD that went with them, Mr. Bennett Bailey, and Mr. Rufus, fortunately, we happened to be part of the meeting as well. Yes.
Talk to me about the meeting then. What was discussed in the meeting? What resolutions did the meeting come to? What is the standpoint of the club and Dr. Ali, of course, as far as the money is concerned? And what seems to be the bone of contention that's kept the 2 gentlemen now there for 19 days?
Thanks, Andile. Our discussions actually from the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, they were mediating in order to ensure that we reach an amicable solution, in order to ensure that whatever dispute that we have is being settled and the guys are able to return home, of which it was also our emphasis that despite all the disagreement that we have currently, we believe that those gentlemen that are there really it's actually not good for them to be kept in Libya and being without their family, looking at the period that we are actually the festive period, the Easter weekend, where everybody will be happy to be with their families. So from our discussion, Dr. Ali agreed that the issue of initially he agreed, let me say, that the hotel payment is non-issue because he believes that the matter has been paid. Then the issue was the ticket from Istanbul.
From Turkey to Libya.
Yes, from Turkey to Libya, of which we believe really they are beyond the price that we hope everyone should be willing to pay. And
so if I can just get in there so that we have a perfect understanding, because I said a little bit earlier that what has been done to Dr. Abraham Selo is rather unfair, because people thought Dr. Abraham Selo pay the people, but it is rather unfair, and I want you to highlight why it's unfair. How many people contingent did Dr. Ali pay for, and how much is he asking for those tickets?
Though we know that the contingency was of 23 people, of which 4 were asked to come back home because it was, now their attendance of the match was not necessary. So they had to return from Istanbul. But Dr. Ali was insisting that no, already he had made arrangements for the booking of the flight of those individual people. From Mr. Gabriel, who went to the airline that booked them from Istanbul to Benghazi, he confirmed that according to the airline, the highest ticket that they could pay was $480
per ticket.
The minimum being 320, but the minimum being 380. Then the other one was 420. Then they said if he had to pay the maximum, at least it cannot be beyond $480. But from Dr. Ali's point of view, is that he had paid, I think it's more than 1,000, about 1,100 and something.
Per ticket?
He claims to have paid, which when you check, if you move from 380 to close about 1,200, is 3 times the initial price.
That's 18,000 per ticket.
Yes.
As compared to if you do the basic maths of saying the most expensive ticket versus 480 times the 23 people, I think you come up at 11,000 some odd rands.
Yes,
and if you take that 11,000 odd rands in dollars and you convert it to South African rands, I think you're sitting at 202,000 is where you come to. How much is he wanting for that?
Actually, that's why you find that now he's talking about that 35,000 that he was talking about.
So he's quoting them and charging them almost 100% more than the actual worth of the tickets.
That is true.
So what is the other charge? The charge is the tickets that come from Turkey to Libya. What is the other charge to make up the almost 700,000 that he's wanting?
The other charge which surprised the chairman related to the kit, because according to what he claimed initially, it was 1,700. But in our meeting, he claimed that no, for the kit he had paid 1,300, which was 8. But the chairman indicated, I'm surprised that.
Mzwandile, I think you're breaking a little bit. I don't know if you can find a better spot or maybe where you were earlier at the moment, or you.
I think.
There we go. No, we've got you now.
Yeah. Okay. So he said the chairman was surprised that this guy claimed that the kit was 1,300, because he said initially he asked for 1,700, which he had already paid. He said, nonetheless, I paid 1,700 for the kit, but now I'm surprised that he's saying the kit alone is 1,300, of which really we need to look at the cost that has been paid, because the chairman has paid for the hotel. He has also paid for the kit. He had paid, according to his understanding, what he thought really was the value of the ticket. Then he said, I've added more because they've already paid about $12,000 for excluding the hotel cost as well as the amount for the kit.
So how much is owed as we speak at the moment for the lives of Marumo Matsena? How much is owed to Dr. Ali according to what he's saying?
Now it has changed from our discussion, Andile. You find now, after listening, the more you get into the meeting, then you become confused. Because initially when he started, he said there's no extra cost that he has charged for the trip of Marumo Gallants. He just charged the amount that he had paid, which was charged by the company that was negotiating for the tickets to Benghazi. But ultimately, at the end, he said, no, I can give you 10% discount of what I had charged as a commission. But what is so shockingly, the 10% is 10,000, because he said from the 35,000 you can now pay 25,000. But if you look at 10,000 of 35, it's not even 10%, because 10,000 is is a 10% of 100,000 in real sense, just to make it simple.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. Then he agreed on that. Ultimately, the agreement was that since he had not provided the full details of how much he has paid, even the invoice from the company that he claims charged that amount, and also the breakdown of the total cost that he was referring to, because Marumo Gallants has not received that. The conclusion was that he has to provide the invoice to confirm that truly he has paid the amount, of which the chairperson of Marumo Gallants said, if that's the amount that you truly really have paid, there's nothing else that you can do, then you'll have to pay. But let us get the invoice, which he still has to get from the company that was responsible for the booking.
Tell me this then. How much? So are we saying, my understanding of your last sentence there is, if he does get that invoice and proves it, the chairman of Marumo Gallants is then willing to pay that money. Did you guys put some sort of deadlines and timelines? Because I would have thought that those deadlines and timelines would not be per 24 hours, but even quicker than that, 2, 3, 4 hours, in order to hasten the situation to get those two men out of Libya. What are the timelines? What are the deadlines as we speak now set in that meeting?
As soon as we receive the invoice, in terms of the agreement was that Marumo Gallants will have to pay 50% of the balance, which according to us now is 25,000 minus. Let me say we are not sure whether it's 25,000 minus 17,000, because already 17,000.
So basically, Marumo Gallants owe an amount that they don't even know. They don't even know exactly how much they owe.
Because they have not received that invoice. Yes, because they have not received the invoice, then they do not know about the amount. But we have agreed with him that as soon as he receives that and sends it, because now there's the involvement of the embassy, so the payment will be made to the account of the embassy in South African rand. Then once they confirm that, surely we'll have those guys being released and be able to come back home.
Yeah.
Then the balance will have to be settled within 3 weeks. That's what he has requested us to do.
The balance will be settled within 3 weeks?
Yes, after receiving that confirmation, because if there's any dispute on the total amount or on the receipt that he says he has received, because from our side we also requested to say somebody can just bring a receipt and say this is what I have paid, but we believe that this is a huge amount that he could not just pay in cash, so he must have done some, either transfer through EFT or any other means that will also prove how much he has paid. So he said in addition to the invoice that he's going to submit and the receipt from the company, we'll be happy to also have the confirmation from the bank that truly such kind of amount of money was transferred from his account into the account of the company that he was responsible for the booking.
We're in conversation with Mzwandile Maforvane, SAFA Football Manager. My fear when I'm Mzwandile with all of this is that even after that meeting, there's still a huge question mark as to say when those South Africans are coming home. There is no date set. It could be anything. It could be after the long weekend. It could be the following week even, because there's just too many things that need to happen before that happens. There's no deadline set for them. They need to indefinitely sit there in waiting.
Truly, that's what we have, but we have in fact we have the assurance from the DDG that will keep on engaging them when we realize that there is a delay on their part, which will cause any problems for those people to be coming back to South Africa. But the DDG, with the engagement with the ambassador, the Libyan ambassador, they promise that they are going to work in ensuring that these people are able to come home as soon as possible.
Mzwandile, we appreciate you talking to us. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Andile. I know really this is a stressful period, and I also feel for the guys that are there, because even during the day, in their engagement, they indicated the challenges that they are having. Truly, Andile.
What sort of challenges did they indicate to you that they were having?
The fact that they are in a hotel where you'll find that you don't understand what is happening outside, because you might not know really how safe are you where you are.
In a country where you don't speak the language.
The country where you cannot even speak the language, and where you find yourself, somebody has your passport that he doesn't want to give it to you. But I can assure you that the Deputy Director General emphasized to Dr. Ali that it's not even allowed for him to keep the passport.
Which is why I'm wondering why the Department of International Relations are in conversation with this thing. I mean, these are two South Africans whose passports are being held not by the authorities in Libya, but by a hotel owner, a mere civilian like me and you. Why is it that we need to negotiate with him to let go of South Africans in Libya?
Andile, what I've realized that this engagement is done with someone who was not prepared to tell the truth, who just would go around trying to create more confusion by not telling what is happening. Because he was still refusing, despite the fact that Mr. Matsena was insisting that, no, I don't have my passport with me. So I do just want to make people believe that, no, everything is fine, that, no, they have their passports. Because even Mr. Bailey indicated that on their arrival, when they went to play, this guy also took their passports from them. Some of them received their passports on their way to the airport.
I challenge our government, Mzwandile, and when you do get into that meeting with the DDG, please let them know that South Africans are saying, why is it that we have an international relations? Why is it that we have the force that we have as South Africans when we can get held hostage in a hotel by a hotel owner, a mere civilian in Libya, when we've got the Libyan ambassador in South Africa, yet there's no communication from the Libyan ambassador to say to his people, get the police to go in there, get the passports and get those South Africans out. Because 19 days later, surely that's where we should be.
I agree with you, Andy. Really, this is so stressing. And I hope, actually, my message will be to their families that I know really is something that we as some citizens, we have never experienced. But we need to come to an understanding that we will do our best as the South African Football Association. We'll continue to engage with the government as we have already started with the process by forwarding this when it started. And we'll continue to try and find other means, because what is important is for those people to be able to come back home and be with their families as they actually supposed to be with their families. Because nobody does have a right to control where you're supposed to be. They need to be their families whenever they want to be.
Mzwandile Maforvane, SAFA Football Manager, who of course together with the chairman of Marumo Gallants, the two South Africans who are stuck in Benghazi at the moment, held hostage, and that's what it is, by Dr. Ali Azaga, the owner of the hotel, as well as the Department of International Relations and the Embassy of Libya in South Africa. Had a meeting a little bit earlier today, and these were the outcomes. Thank you so much for talking to us. Let's take a break.
This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile. Okay.
Coach Rani Mukwena.
I would have loved to see Cassius with his age group going to Congo and helping the team to qualify, not with Bafana.
Shortly after I posted that story and the subsequent tweet, Vincent Seka, the team manager, the Bafana team manager, then replied to that story to say, but Sundowns refused to release Cassius Mailula last year when the under-23 team were playing against Togo in the Olympic qualifier. But now the coach is complaining about the same player representing the junior national team. So you make of that what you will, Andile.
David is out here, Guruleni. David?
Age and nurturing, it plays a very important role. Let's not forget what once happened to Steve Likwelea. He once went to Amsterdam and came back a broken man, though he had talent.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sport. Let's go. Alienating victims or limiting contact with their family and friends, such as isolation and ongoing rudeness, are forms of control and social abuse. Break the silence and report these immediately. Metro FM, turning 16 days into 365 days.
Yeah, we gon' get them.
Get connected.
Yeah.
Call now. 0860-002-160.
Yeah, we gon' get them.
Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
At exactly 6:45, every single day we take your calls on the discussions that we've had here on the show. If you watched Marumo Gallants last night and how they fought against Royal AM, winning that match 3-2, scoring a goal that won the match in the very last minutes. You've got two gentlemen that were sitting watching that or following that up in Libya, and they're saying this is what's making us cope. This is the reason that's keeping us alive every single day. The South African government is negotiating with the hotel manager that is holding, a hotel owner that is holding South Africans hostage. They're negotiating, giving him time to go find invoices, from what I'm hearing. Go find invoices, and when you come back, then we'll talk about those invoices. The day is almost over now already. So that's an extra day. We're not talking about, hey, listen, if we're not releasing those South Africans and continuing with these money talks, we're going to come and get them. No. It's, prove to us what you've got, and then we'll come. Maybe I don't understand international relations the way I should. But those two guys in Libya, I consider family. And as I consider them family, I am not happy to have them. You heard the man come and speak here because he wanted his family to hear that he's okay. Physically, that is. Let's take your voice notes. When we come back on the other side, we take your calls. 6:45, as per usual, your calls begin.
We gon' get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Andile, Mzwandile, I'm here in Deep Sloot. Andile, how many times our South African players are always complaining about about the treatment in Africa? This whole Pan-Africanism thing is not working for us. It seems like whether Tina Sisekaleni, because you would hear people like Dr. Kumalo saying like we are being called Mandela babies, and it's like there's jealousy for our peaceful country and everything. So bona baboni chance nje and mina ngiyazibuza if ever it was a South African business owner holding hostage Libyan players and officials, ubuzozwa like xenophobic and everything, everyone would be alarmed.
Evening, Miss Andile. Spershon Dusange from Divan. Yeah, I feel sorry for the guys in Libya. Yeah, it's very pity. A country like South Africa, it's taking long to just rescue the guys to come back to the country. I thought 700,000 was a drop in the ocean for a country like South Africa. And to help those guys, and the chairman of the team could have to pay maybe in terms that will be agreed upon. Big up, Joshua.
Hi, Andile. This is really a sad story. People are missing what they love too much. Their families, their soccer team. Can somebody please help those guys and come back home?
On Easter,
man.
Playing
without them. Their families are missing them. We are going on a long weekend. They are not at home. Their parents, their kids, they miss them. Can somebody just help them to come back home? It's Marumo Gallants.
Andile, Jimmy Mara the busy corner of Motseb. Andile, Kaloko Bozagarum, Jamelady, Nemelady, just a shag, Melady, just a shag. Born, I'm finally Toritor and Setanzo, Nakam Kopunyandiga, Gumpan, Nera Lebu, keep on doing that, Chana. Ne Ola para, Andile, Ola para. Chemena game is at Halamotala Mantuani. Jimmy Mara the busy corner of Motseb. Olebu Andile, Chemene, Otala Mantuani, Chovecho.
Hi, Andile. Hi, Metro FM listeners again. Yeah, it's too so again. You see, Andile, what I was saying in that previous voice note that I've sent. Right now, we just played the conversation between you and the doctor. You see what I was saying? Gore e tlo tswa ka tšhelete gape ya go patala di rate tse tsa internet, di service tse internet, dijo tseo. What is going to happen? Yeah, so I'm just curious as a South African citizen. Thank you. Ayoba.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Andile.
Hey.
But to be fair, Marumo Gallants must pay.
Pay what though?
Marumo Gallants must pay. Bring Marumo Gallants to the show.
Oh, they're not talking.
Go to a restaurant and eat and walk away. That's a criminal offense.
Yeah, but Is he done? Hold on. I want to address that. Here's the issue. The issue is not that Marumo Gallants must pay or not. That is not the issue. The issue here is, how much do I owe you? Yes, I ate at the restaurant. There's a bill. There's a menu that's got pricing. I know that the burger I ate is 50 rands. I know that the water I ordered is 20 rands. So my bill is 70, and then I can tip if I please. But Dr. Ali, Timmy, do we have can you try and get the quote from Dr. Ali when we spoke to him here, the audio, when he said how much they were owing? Because the amounts we're hearing now are way, way less than what he'd initially said. You can't say to me a ticket is $1,000 when I can get onto the internet and see that the ticket is $300. I can see it. Here it is, it's $300. You're charging me $1,000 for it and expecting me to pay that. Otherwise, you're holding me hostage. It's not about payment. It's the ethics behind it and the crookery and the robbery behind it.
It's Emmanuel here. I think this just puts the egg on the face of CAF as well, because I think CAF should have really stepped in already, because this competition is sanctioned by CAF, and CAF cannot allow this situation where people are being held hostage like this. And then also on top of that, CAF, it's really inactive in this issue. They should even put out a statement to say each and every team, when they go and play in Libya, they cannot use hotels owned by Dr. Ali, because Dr. Ali is a kidnapper.
You know what? CAF are currently in the country. Dr. Patrice Motsepe and a lot of his delegations are down in Durban. I'm going to put a call out to them after this. Let's see tomorrow. We're going to get into tomorrow's business now. We're going to carry this on another day. But let's see tomorrow if we can't persuade CAF to come on or to at least give us a statement. Let's take one last voice note, because I want to take calls now on 086-000-2160. Masim Poza and Anonymous. Anonymous. Well, let's take a last voice note.
Yahlupha man lento lena yahlupha lento yabantu base lento yenzekayo le, and it's getting to be a problem, and we've been I don't know how to put it, we've been trying by all means. We've done everything here in our country to accommodate these African people, these African guys who have no respect for us.
I mean, I wouldn't put a blanket statement.
I don't know. That. These guys, they don't respect us, and I don't know what's wrong with our government, because bengamelanga nje bayivumele lanto leya. Kabe kudala kwaleyo wase Libya, oyi-ambassador yase Libya olapha ekhutshiwe kwalapha. If it was for me, as soon as bebuya bafo pha katheshe pha kulandawo uyalawa Libya besibuya lapha ekhayeni.
I hear the sentiments, but I think we're going to go too far left with that one there. Let's take some of your calls. Anonymous.
Good evening, Andy. How are you?
I'm not okay, but I'll be fine. Talk to me.
Yes, Andy, this thing that is happening. Started long ago, not the only country that things like the other countries outside of South Africa, when they see people from South Africa, I don't know, they see Lotto or something, because I'm doing cross-border. You know, when it comes to money, they don't want their currency. When you give him his currency, they don't want their currency, they want our currency. And yet you have to pay someone to do his own job. And you must know that whenever you swipe the product, you need to know the conversion of rands to their currency. They are trying to scam them. It is a scam.
It's what it sounds and looks like to me. If it quacks and walks like a duck, it's a duck. That's what it looks like.
I don't think even if that time they spend there with Wi-Fi, internet, could cost so much, even food. I never heard of such. And the data from the country that I'm working from, it's much cheaper than here in South Africa.
Oh.
Much cheaper than here in South Africa.
Anonymous, I appreciate you, man. Be safe crossing those borders. Let's go to Mpoza. He's out in Greenstone. Mpo?
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm not well, man. I'm not well. It's been a while. Talk to me.
What is said, and I think it's one of those things. If you remember, as South Africans, we've always been good hosts. I mean, remember even Al Ahly, after playing against Sundowns, they stayed here for almost a week before they traveled because of the hospitality that they get given in South Africa. But now the problem is that when you then travel into other countries in Africa, it becomes a wild, wild west. If you're charging people 10,000 for a plate of food, just give us the invoice. If you've put your markup, give the guys from Marumo Gallants what is due, and then they can pay you. Because now everybody is happy to blame them for not paying. But what do they pay? It's moving targets of tomorrow the price is 10, tomorrow it's 13, come Sunday it may be 25. So give them a price, say, for you to stay here, for me to do this for you, these are my services that I gave you, these are my people that work to accommodate you, this is the hotel rooms, and here's the price. And then they can pay, and then this situation can be. But CAF have got to start looking at this very differently because it's under their competition. And then who were the team that were hosting Marumo Gallants? Because there's still some liabilities that come with them in terms of making sure that the accommodation is well sorted out.
Al Akhta, that's the team. Mpoza, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go to Ray. Ray's out. Kaslamaka Semambis. Hey, talk to me, boy.
Sure. I think to Mr. Ali Kiskema or Kito. I remember the day you had a conversation with him. You asked him a simple question that a lot of people lose their luggage so they can gain more. So I think these guys, they still this luggage is about to gain more.
Hey,
yeah, the way they want to go another day, that's why he couldn't even answer that question because now he's been dodging it. Every time you ask him, why dodge?
Thank you. So you were listening on Monday, Ray, and I asked him. Twice I asked him, and he refused to answer that.
He didn't ask that because he knows he's behind all those, and that's the only question he wanted to be answered. So I'm going to Kavota Anzo. Damani there's no way this money is not traveling this Kanam corner or like Nanjat about if we only the cheat Yamarumu but so when he comes to buy that cheap, he knows he's getting more. The cheap away buy 1,000 Marina to charge 15,000.
Imagine. Ray, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's go to Offense. Offense is out in Centurion. Offense, talk to me.
I'm so angry, my brother.
And you should be.
Our government is weak.
Imagine you are in a different country, held hostage, not by the police. This man did not take you to the police where you're being detained legally. But no, let's negotiate and wait for invoices after 19 days.
No, they are testing our power, and where is CFF? They should be in the embassy now. They are hypocrite. Understand, ma? They are hypocrite. They should be in the embassy.
Because they've got an embassy here. Now. Yeah, they've got an embassy here.
They are testing our power, so our government is weak, and this Minister of Irrigation, there's no minister there. How can a Popeye owning the hotel? It's a Popeye, I'm angry, man. We don't have government. Our government is weak, very swag. And the president of CAF, Mr. Petrus Motsepe, he should be sanctioning that Libya, taking out from the competition even right now.
Offensive, you make some valid points there. Thank you so much. Let's go to Sinong out in Rustenburg. Oh, terribly sorry for that one, Sinong. It's a heartbreaking story, if you ask me. We're going to reach out to CAF. I know they're around. I know they're in the country at the moment because the schools tournament is happening down in Durban, something new that they're trying to start that's looking really great, and it's good for football, grassroots football. But we need to know on this matter. So as soon as we're done now, we just didn't have enough time for me to make that call while we're on air. But I think it's time that we ask CAF, what is your understanding and your stand on this? Because at the moment, yeah, I know. Hey, it's a new thing. here on Metro FM every single day between 7 and 9. Faith Mangope, because you know what it is? You know when you buy a car, when does it stop being new? When do you stop saying, here's my new car? After how long?
I would give it 6 months.
Well, so
but in your case, I will give it 2 years.
It's that story we were covering. Two South Africans still stuck. We spoke to one of them, Rufus, in his hotel room, and he says, Andile, I'm sleeping all day. I'm physically okay, but I'm not okay. 19 days I've been in Libya, and the hotel owner's got my passport.
Why?
Huge meeting, because until the money is paid by Marumo Gallants, we're not letting these guys go. So 2 of them have stayed there for 19 days. There's a meeting that happens today. The hotel owner's there. The chairman of Marumo Gallants is there. International relations. What was it? Was it the DDM? Well, somebody from DERCO is there. You've got who else was there? You've got the ambassador to Libya, who's in South Africa, in that meeting. And the agreement at the end of the meeting is that, okay, because we're not certain of how much it is, Marumo are disputing what you're charging them, go get all the invoices and the bank payment and then come back to us. Let's take a look at that and see how much you're paying. So I asked him, what is the time limit to which he's allowed to do this? Surely it should be hours and not even days. No, it's indefinite.
It's indefinite?
It is indefinite. There is no timelines that have been set for those South Africans to come home.
You know, sometimes I don't even think you can blame it on any form of logistics. I think we need to call it what it is. Where there's incompetence, we need to be able to say there's incompetence.
In this matter, there is.
Because do you know what I always say, Andile, that unfortunately things don't hit us hard unless it hits those that we love.
Yeah.
If it was your family member that was stuck in that hotel room, I bet you we would have moved much faster. But if it's not your family member, then there seems to be almost this lackluster approach to a lot of things. So I always pay to mind that what if it was your own that was in there? And
Faith, you can imagine how this weekend will hit even harder.
Yeah.
Because you're in chats with your family, they're gathering, it's the Easter weekend, they're going to church. It's going to impact them, it's going to impact you, it's going to impact everyone. We're going to try and reach out to CAF this evening, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll come back to you with something. I know they're in the country. Dr. Patrice Motsepe and his delegation are in the country for a great project that we highlighted on Soccer Zone on Monday. But it's 7 o'clock, top of the hour. What do we have going on?
Well, we're going to start our Easter campaign. As you can imagine, the Department of Transport is out and about making sure that people arrive alive. So we are in the studio this evening with the Minister of Transport.
Nice.
Minister Sindiswa Chikunga. She'll be joining us in just a moment. I just spoke to her and I think that they were making their way from Midrand. I can imagine those blue lights.
Yeah.
I can imagine those blue lights. So they're going to be in the studio in just a moment. We're also going to be looking at the appointment of the board of the SABC. We're going to have some analysis on that one. Why is it that we're just having the stalling tactic almost and being able to stabilize matters at the SABC? The truth of the matter is we are the SABC, and more than anything else, what happens and what's the impact of actually not having a board for more than 5 months? It's going to be a conversation a little bit later on. And then this one is a heartbeat. And you know what? On Thursdays, I call it Self-Care Thursdays, and for the very same reason that we can't take care of the country until we've managed to take care of ourselves.
Okay.
And I'd love your take on it. So what we're going to be doing on Thursdays is that we're going to be having a lot of soul conversations, a lot of inward-looking conversations. Today, we're talking about the impact of the fatherless.
Oh.
So, South Africa is in a space right now where we've got a lot of gender-based violence and femicide. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not making any excuses for gender-based violence and femicide. But what I am saying is that when we were teaching women how to be empowered, we did not teach the man how to love an empowered woman. But where does that man learn love from? Who teaches a black man how to be a father? If historically black men were never part of the family in the first place, you sent them to the mines to go dig up for gold. You told them to call a white man bus. You got them coming to the family every 6 months. Who taught a black man how to father? And when the black man does not father, and when the black man negates responsibilities of fathering, what impact does that have on our society? I have to navigate that against, I've got white friends, right, where the men will say, I take my children to, and I show my son how to. Who shows the black man how to be a father? Who shows the black man how to be a son? And what is the impact of the fatherless? Because I tell you one thing, there's something sick that is going on in our society, and the time is now that we get to speak about it. Did you know how to be a father? Do you know how? Because a lot of women are struggling right now with saying he does not pay maintenance. He has not seen his child in 6 months. I have to phone him to see his kid. I have to force this man to see his kid.
But
okay.
you can only father how you were fathered. I mean,
that's it.
There are those that are lucky enough to be, woke in inverted commas and learned enough to say, no, I know how I was fathered was wrong. Because there was a generation of fathers who didn't know any different. They thought providing for you
that's it
is being a father.
Yeah.
The fact that the lights are on, there's food in the fridge, that's fathering. Your school fees is paid. But how many black men have never heard, and I'm one of them, have never heard a father or a man say, I love you? Have never had a man say, come here, well done, and give you a hug.
Can I tell you where we're also going to take it this evening? How many men have left their baby mamas and gone and fathered other children who belong to the other woman without fathering their own children? Listen, we're going to get deep this evening because we can't take care of the country, Andile, until we've taken care of ourselves. And that's what we're going to be doing. Every Thursday, we're going to self-care.
This show is going to be like a mirror to myself. So I'm going to be listening today in particular. It's 4 after the hour 7. Thank you so much to the amazing crew that shoot this show every single day. Put it out on Twitter. We put it out on Facebook. And then it goes on to YouTube as well as Instagram. Follow us at Sports Night Amplified with Andile, SNAWA, and Andile Ncube on YouTube for the full show. And of course, you can always get the podcast on metrofm.co.za. For myself and my whole team, Pella. And it's all.